नमस्कार आणि येवकार तुमकां आमच्या गोवा 365च्या सप्तकी कार्यावळीत रणमाले आणि हे रणमाले आमी घेतात ज्याचेर खऱ्यांनी सध्या गोंयांत हळू रण पेटपाक लागला ते म्हणजे कोस्टल रेग्युलेशन झोन जाका आमी CRZ म्हणटात जे दर्यावेळेचे वयले आसता अमक्या एक अंतराचेर ते एक नवें नोटिफिकेशन केंद्र सरकारान काडलां सगळ्या स्टेटी भितर ते इम्प्लिमेंट जावपाचें आसा आनी ताजेर सद्याक सगळेच NGO आनी तांचे बरोबर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ज्यो आसा त्यो एकठांय येवन तांणी गोवा अगेन्स्ट CRZ अशी एक चळवळ सुरू केल्ली आसा प्रत्येक गांवां भितर वचपाक लागल्यात आनी ताजेर चर्चा करपा खातीर हांगा 3 मानेस्त आमी हांगा हाडल्यात कारण अशें म्हणटात की जे अपोज करतात ते म्हणटात की एक तर ह्या हॉटेलवाल्यांक फायदो जातलो आनी दुसरो बिल्डरांक फायदो जातलो ताका लागून हांगा मेन ह्या तिनी सेक्शन्स जे आसात तांकां हांगा हाडून आमी ही डिबेट करतात तातले पयले आसात ते म्हणजे हे गोवा अगेन्स्ट CRZ हातूंतले एक फुडारी आनी गोंयच्या रोंपणकारांचो एकवट हाजे जनरल सेक्रेटरी आनी त्याच बरोबर नॅशनल लेवलाचेर तांचो जो फिशर फोक फोरम आसा ताजे वायस चेअरमॅन ओलेन्सियो सिमोएस ओलेन्सियो तुका आमच्या स्टुडियो भितर येवकार आनी त्याच बरोबर हांगा दुसरो आरोप जाता तो म्हणजे खास करून हाजो फायदो जो आसा तो डिस्टन्स कमी केल्ल्यान ताजो फायदो जातलो तो बिल्डरांक म्हणून ताजे खातीर CREDAI हें जें ऑर्गनायझेशन आसा ते बिल्डरांचे ताजे आदले प्रेसिडेंट निलेश साळकार त्याच बरोबर हांगा तिसरे आमचे बरोबर आसात ते म्हणजे महत्वाचे जे आमचे दर्यावेळेचेर चलता ते टुरिजम आनी त्या टुरिजमाक हॉटेलां आतां थंय दर्यावेळेचेर येवपाक लागतली अशे तरेचो आरोप आयला ताका लागून हांगा ट्रॅव्हल अँड टुरिजम क्लब ऑफ गोवा जो आसा TTAG ताजे प्रेसिडेंट सावियो मेसियास तुमकां तिगांयकय आमच्या स्टुडियो भितर येवकार आनी ओलेन्सियो सुरवात तुजे कडल्यान फक्त नोटिफिकेशन आयलां अजून कांयच जालें ना जाल्यार येदो व्हडलो बोवाळ घालून सामकें मळब कोसळिल्ल्या भशेन कित्या खातीर करतात
पळय आमचो आयज निशोध जाला कित्याक स्टेट गव्हर्मेंटान हॅज गिवन एप्रुवल फॉर दीस ड्राफ्ट नोटिफिकेशन आनी लेटस्ट पळय एमेंडमेंट जाल्लो आसा 2 जुलय हेजेर सिद्ध जाल्लेलें आसा की हे जे एमेंडमेंट जे जाला इज एंटी पीपल एंटी एनवायरमेंट एंड ओनली गव्हर्मेंट वॉन्ट टू फ्लॅगशीप देअर सागरमाला प्लेन्स इन दीस सागरमाला प्लेन्स गव्हर्मेंट हॅज ऑलरेडी नॅशनलायज 6 रिवर्स ऑफ गोवा पोर्ट लेड डेव्हलपमेंट एनकरेज करूंक सोदता कोल हब करूंक सोदता आयज गोंयान पर मिनट 25 टन कोल ट्रान्सपोर्ट जाता एंड दे वॉन्ट टू इन्क्रीज दीस टू 100 मिलियन टन सो फॉर दॅट दे रिक्वायर पोर्ट इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर वॉटरवेज जाय तांकां सो हे तेंची आयडिया कितें ते कितें म्हणटा की रोडान जे आसा कॉस्ट देंवपाक ट्रान्सपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट देंवपाक ते म्हणटा 1.50 पैसा जाता to reduce the cost if they use the river transportation then their cost will come 0.25 paisa so to save 1.25 paisa today 180 kilometers of a river and 53 kilometers of a coastline that is MPT jurisdiction जे आसा 53 kilometers आसा हांव तितलेच दोत्ता हे दोनूय हे काबार करूंक सोदता ही फ्रंटेज जे आसा सी फ्रंटेज एंड रिवर फ्रंटेज they want to use it because in national waterways act is very clear that once the river is nationalized, equivalent land jo asa, land between the both river side will be used for nationalization of rivers, for infrastructure, for coal stacks, for whatever related to infrastructure, they eyes use करतले. So आमी हेजेर फुल निशोध आसा, हे फिशरमॅनाकूय काबार करतलेत, पूण टुरिझम जे आसा, आयज कितले 14 मिलियन टुरिस्ट जे बीच टुरिझमाक लागून येता, हे टुरिझमय काबार करतले. म्हणून आम्ही सरकाराक मागता की हे जे नोटिफिकेशन एंटी पीपल नोटिफिकेशन अँड दिस हॅज व्हायलेटेड इवन द लॉ ऑफ रिग्रेशन जे आसा जे कायदो आसा 2016 सॉरी जेन्ना एक बिल्डर लॉबीन दे वेंट टू द MOF नोटिफिकेशन काडलो की आमी कन्स्ट्रक्शनाक EC क्लियरन्स कित्याक जाय तितून नॅशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्युनलान ऑर्डर दिला एप्लिकेशन 677 ऑफ 2016 स्क्वेअर aside द MOF notification. So therefore we are asking the government to scrap this notification.
Savio basically he is saying that it will finish tourism. आणि त्याच बरोबर म्हाका दिसता जे नोटिफिकेशन काडलें त्या नोटिफिकेशना भितर पयलींचे फ्रॉम हायटायड लायन 200 मिटर पर्यंत कांयच कन्स्ट्रक्शन करपाक मेळनाशिल्लें तें कन्स्ट्रक्शन आतां तांणी 50 मिटरांचेर हाडून दवरलां ह्या हातूंत भितर प्रपोज केला त्या हातूंतल्यान हांगा तुमची जी हॉटेलां पयस आशिल्लीं ती हॉटेलां आतां लागीं येतलीं जाका लागून फिशरमॅनूय काबार जातले आनी मुखार बाकीच्यो गजाली सँड ड्यून्स आनी कितें थोडे कितें उरले तेय काबार जातले आनी अल्टिमेटली ही इज क्लेमिंग दॅट टुरिझम काबार घेतले वॉट यू हॅव टू से
See, there is a feeling that it's being done to help the tourism industry and the big sharks. But unfortunately, I don't think so, because it's going to help. It's going to help the local people. Today there are lots of people who own, even fishermen who own small little structures near the beach. Some of them have reconstructed it, expanded, and they are not legalized. Now this is an opportunity for them to put up better structures, decent structures, and live, because today the families are growing. Every fisherman has got his family is growing. They require more space. There is a shortage of land in Goa today. This is not going to help the tourism industry to a very great extent. Today there are around 700 complaints in the CRZ about violations. If you go and if you study these violations, just about 10% are related to the tourism industry. The rest 90% are related to locals, local people who have been living for last so many years on the beach and near these areas. You go to any part of the world, you will find construction activity going on within 50 meters from the beach. But it should be planned construction, not irregular construction like what's happening here. And until and unless you come up with some planned construction, things may go haywire, but we require, I think this is a good notification which will help a lot of local people.
निलेश वता ऑलेन्सियोन मातसो हें केल्लो की बिल्डर्स लॉबी केम टुगेदर आनी तांणी सगळ्यो गजाली केल्यो. अल्टिमेटली जी कन्स्ट्रक्शन जातली फाल्यां जावं फिशर फोकाची जावं फाल्यां हॉटेलाची वा आनी कोणाची, फायनली ती बिल्डरांनीच करपाची. आनी त्याच बरोबर हांगा रेजिडेन्शियल एरिया विदीन 50 मिटर्स करच्यो अशे तरेचें प्रोविजन हातूंत भितर केल्लें बी आसा. सो तुमची जी घरां आनी फ्लॅट्स जे सगळे येता ते आतां 50 मिटर्साचेर रावतले अशी तरेची परिस्थिती जातली.
First of all, let us be clear. This is just a notification. This is not yet a law. And in this notification, the government is asking you to make a coastal zone management plan, which will then tackle all your permissions and regulations and everything. So my viewpoint is that instead of objecting to the notification, why not put your energies towards giving constructive suggestions and formulating a good coastal zone management plan, because that is what will govern your development. The second thing is, there are some very good points in this. For example, Savio mentioned about individual units. The previous CRZ notifications did not allow for construction of individual residences, although it allowed construction of hotels. This notification makes it clear that you can build individual constructions, individual residences on smaller properties, which means that the locals will definitely be benefited. And they have reduced it to 50 meters. But again, I would suggest that this can be tackled in the plan. For example, in Goa, there are a lot of headlands, there are a lot of rocky beaches where I don't see a reason why you have to go back 200 meters. But in beach belts, obviously you can put down these conditions in the coastal zone management plan and regulate development. So it is not a blanket 50 meters that the notification is asking you to do. There are so many other detrimental things over here. For example, they have stopped all river mining and sand mining will be stopped by this notification. So it is going to be a major blow for the builders and for the construction industry. I don't see how आता आजकाल कितें जाला खंयचेय notification येवं कितेंय गव्हर्नमेंटाची ऑर्डर येवं, it is become a fashion to blame the builders because we are very soft targets. Although we have got nothing to do, we have got no role to play in this.
So, Olencio, basically you are becoming fashionable. And एक फॅशन कशी जाल्यान तुम्ही उठसूट बिल्डरांचेर हे करत चल्ल्यात. What is it?
See, first of all, I reject.
No, Olencio, whenever you are asking, making any objections, why don't you come up with counter positive suggestions rather than just objecting to every notification that the government brings?
If I am allowed to speak.
Yeah, please.
See, it is, first of all, we have already sent more than 1 lakh constructive criticism. We have sent objections, what and why this should be brought back to the people. This notification, Nilesh committee was adopted for had made this recommendation. Who he took into confidence? Kunche builderang घेतले, but the builderang sold. Kunche government departmentan घेतले, fisheries departmentan घेतले. No, this notification we have to understand that why this CRZ notification is come. This CRZ notification is come to protect the traditional dwellers of the coast and to restrict development of the fragile ecology of our coastline. not for construction, and that is the because of it is come because Environment Protection Act 1986. Environment Protection Act कितें म्हणटा जे हो कायदो कित्याक केला की restriction korpak because of environmental fragile ecosystem asa म्हणून.
So that is what I'm telling you. The restrictions can be put in the coastal zone management plan. What is the point in objecting to a policy like this?
That is
again, this is not a Goa centric notification. This is a notification which has been made for the whole of the country.
2011 notification. The government have to finalize the CZMP plans. CZMP plans government set for 7-8 years, didn't do anything. After the NGT order, that is November 22nd, 2017, government started formulating their management. गोंयांत तरी कांय जावंक ना. दुसऱ्या स्टेटीन जालेले आसा, पूण दुसऱ्या स्टेटीन कशें जाला तेंय तुमकां कळोंक जाय. जे पळय वॅलिड क्रिटिसिजम बी आशिल्ले पळय स्टेक होल्डराचे, जे कोस्टल कम्युनिटी स्टेक होल्डराचे, गव्हर्मेंटान पब्लीक हियरिंग हेस्टी करून पब्लीक हियरिंग बंद केले थिंगा तमिळनाडून. तमिळनाडून दे हॅव रिजेक्टेड एंड सर्टन अदर स्टेट दे नॉट इवन इन्फॉर्म द पीपल. So, if for example in Bombay, there were just few builder lobby who came for the public hearing, and other fisher people were not invited. So,
don't say that they were not invited.
No, they were not invited.
Probably not.
No, but are these suggestions, recommendations backed by any scientific study? First, it was 90 meters. Indira Gandhi had made it 90 meters. Then from 90 meters, it became 200 meters. Now from 200 meters, it's become 50 meters. So now, so it means that either the studies done are not being studied properly, or there is something wrong.
See this.
Now you go to the rest of the world and you see what's happening. There are so many countries like Brazil, Spain, Portugal, Russia. I mean, they have not had any huge impact on the environment.
Basically, Savio, you or Nilesh are saying that 200 meter was bad. My specific question, was it bad?
No,
was it detrimental?
Can't go, like the VORA commission
was it
said,
affecting the development?
See, you can't have a common line of 200 meters for the whole country.
That's exactly my point. I am saying that it should not be a 50-meter line throughout, or a 200-meter line throughout. In cases, I give you example, we have lots of headlands, we have lots of rocky faces. In those areas, it can be relaxed. Wherever there is a beach, you take it back to 200.
No, hilly areas. We have so much of hills next to the sea. So why can't you build on top of a hill? Why did this happen? Because to prevent flooding. Now you have hills, high hills. So why can't you build on top of the hill?
No, but
how is it going to
most specific question about जो आसा जो ताणे बी हे केलो तो म्हणजे it is basically for the management and conservation of marine and coastal ecosystem. That is number one. Number two, it is for the development in coastal areas. Number three, it is for ecotourism. Number four, it is for livelihood options. And number five, which is very, very important, is that sustainable development of coastal communities. So, जे आता 200 वयल्यान 50 मिटर्साचेर आयला आनी हे केला हातूंत भितर तुमकां कितें दिसता की मेन फोकस कित्याचेर आसचो? मेन फोकस कितें तरी बाबा बिझनेस प्लॅन आनी कितें डेव्हलप जावपा खातीर आसचो काय लोकल्स आसात, कम्युनिटीज आसात, तांचे ट्रेडिशनल ऑक्युपेशन्स धरून सगळ्यो गजाली तांकां सेफ्टी मेळची, तांकां सेक्युरिटी मेळची ह्या दृश्टीन आसचो? व्हॉट इज इट?
See, ये पळय notification.
No, I want to ask them first.
See, I'll give you an example of Kharyawado. It's a fishing village. It is unplanned growth. It is a mess. Now, could it not be developed into a proper, a beautiful fishing village if those people were allowed to put up proper structures? It's a complete mess. If there's a fire there tomorrow, I don't know how many people are going to die.
And that beach not very long ago was an excellent beach.
Yes.
We have been living close by to the beach, and till as late as late 80s, I think the beach was in a good condition. Today you can't step on that beach. So whether you have a notification or you don't have a notification, if something has to get spoiled, it will get spoiled. But with a plan, you can actually control certain things.
See, number one, I want to say first, Savio said that 90% of the violations are from local, which is absolutely false.
No.
Violation. Let me finish.
These statistics.
The
are
violations
right.
today are from the tourism lobby, the 5-star, the 3-star, which
I don't agree with you. There's no violation by 5-star hotel.
You might disagree.
You name one.
In the NGT, 1 second. In the NGT, all the violations are of hotel. or of any construction building lobby which comes up. Now, number one.
Savio, एकूच क्वेश्चन.
That is why that.
Okay, ती व्हायोलेशन झाली. Let me just एकूच क्वेश्चन म्हाका विचारक. Okay. आज गोंयच्या कितल्या बिचांचेर सँड ड्यून्स आसात आणि जर नासत जाल्यार ते कोणा लागून काबार जाले? बस, that is the only question I'm asking.
See, none of the hotels have destroyed the sand dunes. The sand dunes have been destroyed. If they have been destroyed, they have been destroyed by much smaller local people who greed for growing and for increasing their structures. Otherwise, sand dunes have not been destroyed by the industry.
See, this is
and
absolutely
again, we
false.
have a very lopsided way of looking at environment. On one side, you allow shacks right on the beach. Is that not environmental degradation?
Right.
Yes, I agree with this.
Right.
Definitely.
So you
The
have
biggest nuisance you can say,
Yeah.
from some other point of view, कोणाक म्हणून जाल्यार कोणी म्हणपाक शकता, you are nuisance.
Yeah, and at the same time, if somebody wants to put in a proper facility, like take the example of Baina Beach, there was a good plan where there were some facilities were proposed. That has been struck down so many times by NGT and whatnot, and the things are just lying over there. So no toilet facilities, no changing rooms, nothing. And other things, if somebody does not ask for permission, nobody bothers to stop the construction.
See,
Even lifeguard structures are being
Objected to.
challenged. Lifeguard structures.
See, number one, please
So
try to understand that Karevado beach is not being spoiled by the fishermen or by the local habitant. Karevado beach is being spoiled by MPT
I'm
because
sorry,
of
I'm
illegal
sorry.
dredging.
No, no,
Please,
no,
I'm
please.
sorry,
no,
you,
no,
you
no,
just
no.
take a trip over there.
See, no,
You
you
just
are not
take a
going to
trip.
facts, you are just talking in air.
Arre boss, I
want
live
to
next
level
to the
it.
beach.
Dr.
MPT
Anthony
want to level
Messias,
it.
Dr. Anthony
I
Messias
live
has come
next
up
to
with
the
a site
beach.
inspection reports
I
where he is clearly saying that the deepening of the channel has led to erosion of the Karevado beach.
I can't say anything on this
Now-
because I am a पोटजेकार
Now-
आणि तुम्ही तिघी जण बसले तर वास्कोकार.
आता तुम्ही पोर्ट पो इलिगल कोता तेजे तुम्ही काय उलयना म्हणजे तुमचे कोणान वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट आसा कित्याक तुमकां फायदो जातलो
No, but
कित्याक 50 मीटर तुम्ही शेक म्हणटा शेक हॅज अ प्रॉब्लम शेक इज टेम्पररी वन
It is-
तुमची परमनंट आय विल गिव एन एक्झाम्पल इन वेलसांव where an hotel is come in NTZ by fraudulent environment EC and CRZ clearance, and we have brought it to the concerned notice, and now we are going to will approach the court. Like this, there are several violations done by the hotel lobby and by the real estate lobby. That is why today the government is scared of the NGT and wants to shift the NGT from Pune to Delhi. So this is today why we will go to Delhi. Today the Delhi गोयंची पळय जुरिडिक्शन जी आसा एनजीटी इज पुणे महाराष्ट्र एंड गुजरात पूण गोयंची पळय व्हायलेशन जे आसा आमची 80% केस एनजीटीन आसा वो कित्याक लागून आसा तुम्ही सीआरझेड जे आसा सारखे पाडना आयज तूं म्हणटा आतां सावियो म्हणटा की प्लॅन डेव्हलपमेंट जावंक जाय अरे 2011 नोटिफिकेशन कितें म्हणटा जी घरां पळय फिशरमॅनाची जी आसा ती रेग्युलायज जावंक जाय अजून पासून फिशरमॅनाची घरां रेग्युलायज जावना CZMP प्लॅन अजून पासून कंप्लीट जावना CZMP प्लॅनाचेर काजाल लँड मॅनग्रोव्ह सँड ड्यून्स ऑल इको सेन्सिटिव्ह
so you
एरिया जे
give your
आसा
suggestions to make that plan, no?
So
why don't you give your
the problem is what they
suggestions to
don't want
make
to
that
complete
plan?
the CZMP plan.
No, his point is important.
See, that's a problem.
See-
The CZMP plan, the government doesn't want to finalize because they know because of eco-sensitive areas, the coast will
sorry,
be coast will be restricted from any development.
So many
Therefore,
projects-
this
Absolute.
dilution is come in hurry.
No.
And also, this amendment is a
Your-
clear fact
So-
that the
So
Absolutely
many government projects are held up. The tourism GTDC, at least 5 projects are held up.
How
yours
can
are
a government
completely unfounded.
project, when a law is being passed by the government, how can government violate its own law? In NTZ you cannot build. Why you cannot build? I 2004 जेन्ना सुनामी जाल्ले 10,000 लोक मायज मेले आता कित्याक लागून मेले कित्याक तेंच्यांनी ते हजार्ड लायन जी आसा from 0 to 5 meters to up to 7 kilometers they have to do their demarcation because shoreline जी आसा
एक
if
गजाल
you
कितें की
changing-
सुनामी भितर जे कितें सगळी स्ट्रक्चर्स गेली ती हॅझार्ड लायनी भितर आशिल्ली तीच गेल्ली विच इज अ फॅक्ट विच एवरीबडी नोज ओके त्या हॅझार्ड लायनी भितर स्ट्रक्चर्स येवची अशी तुमकां दिसता
See, tsunami is
अल्टिमेट जो प्लॅन करतले
natural disasters don't happen with any particular thing in mind. They are natural disasters. They can happen anywhere and at any time.
पण ती तकलेन दवरूनच करता न्ही आमी डेव्हलपमेंट
ना पण अशी नाही.
Well,
See,
start
with
with
all-
शेवटी लोक मरतात
with all your preparedness, you will still have casualties. This has happened all over the world. Even places like developed places like Indonesia, Japan have faced.
No, the problem
disasters.
is that Ashimuni, should we invite
See,
it?
the problem.
No, there is no way. Just because it is going to the, it can happen. It is a once in a decade occurrence. Because of that, should we go and build in Ponda and not build anything along the coast?
See, the
That is not
problem.
the way.
The problem is
No, but
what?
isn't it allowed to build along
Yeah,
the
of course
coast?
it is allowed
It is
to build.
allowed.
It's not
It is
allowed.
allowed in within 200 meters or beyond 200 meters. So now it is
Beyond
coming to
200
50 meters
50
where
meters.
there are objections.
See, the problem is what? We want sustainable development in accordance with our environment. Today, our
So
tourism
why,
lobby.
why don't you make suggestions for
hotel
that?
lobby,
Why,
or real estate
what are your
lobby
suggestions to make
wants
that?
only to gain profits. They are
Are
least
you-
concerned about the environment. And the
No,
blood,
I think you're
and the
I-
blood-
you are just-
I-
you are
I would
just-
not
and the
agree
blood
with
of
you.
the environment.
I would not
common
agree with
man
you.
is face,
Your-
irrespective whether it is
all
fisherman.
your defense,
Today,
Olencio,
25%,
let me speak.
today 25%
All your
of the
defense.
coastline. 1 second. 25% of the coastline, as said by Union Minister of State in charge Science and Technology, Earth Science, Jitendra Singhan सांगला की sea level rise झालेलो आसा and 3.1 millimeter sea rise जाता. Now sea level rise is very such phenomenon because of physical factors like coastal erosion and siltation of river channel and unregulated port-led tourism come real estate development. कोण म्हणता? Government म्हणता. अरे जेन्ना government म्हणता, the UN also,
all your
UN also,
let me
UN,
speak.
one second.
All
UN,
your
let me
objections.
make my point, then
Yeah.
you speak because
Please, you
point-
make my point fast.
Yeah. UN Intergovernment Panel of Climate Change has said that our coastline will be eroded and several millions will be displaced.
But
Now,
this is a
by the
natural
demolition,
phenomenon.
by the
No,
demolition.
Now let him make
This,
his
see,
point.
what you are saying is a natural phenomena. Whether you like it or not, it
Natural
will happen.
phenomena,
It
question
will,
zada.
it will happen.
Question
But
zada.
all your defense,
coast-
all your defense of points are saying this fellow will make a profit, that fellow will make a profit, this fellow will benefit, that fellow will benefit. What do you mean to say that we should not work for profits? As a fisherman, don't you sell your fish for profits? If that was the case, why would people use formalin in the fish? Why would they do that?
Profits, one second.
So you mean to say that nobody in this
Can
world...
profit can be at the cost of environment and livelihood.
So
and,
you give
and-
your
and people
suggestions
of
to
Goa.
make those correct
Is,
now.
is death
Why
more
are you just
important
blocking
or
everything?
Economy more important.
Why are you just blocking? Of course, economy is also important.
Okay.
If economy was not important, nobody would build anything.
Olencio, just tell me one thing, just for as an academic question I'm asking. वर्षाचे 9 महिने भर बिचाचेर शॅक्स असतात, लोक बिझनेस करतात, हजारांनी लोक त्या तातूंत भितर बशिल्ले असतात. ही असली तरेची डिझॅस्टर जाली जाल्यार ते सगळे व्हांवन वतले आनी सगळे काबार जातले. That should be stopped or allowed.
See,
वर्षाचे 9 महिने
आता-
only 3 months it is stopped.
ते म्हणजे आता शेक
Including beds, everything is there.
Sheikh owner-
Forget 50 meters. There is
Correct.
on the high tide line it is there.
शेक जे आसा,
What, there are some on
there
the...
are restrictions for शेक. ते पहिले
No. So tell me that should be stopped. That should be stopped or allowed.
आम्ही कितें म्हणटा, रिड्यूस करा, because where there is erosion taking place, तुम्ही रिड्यूस करा. Put sustainable development. आम्ही म्हणटा रिड्यूस करा.
What is your definition of sustainable? Can you define
200
sustainable?
लोकांकडे बिझनेस करपाक जाय.
Can you define sustainable development?
मनशाक दिता, बायलाक दिता बिझनेस करपाक, because he cannot sustain.
No, कोणी
पण आम्ही
What
कितें
is your
म्हणटा?
शेवटी
definition
लोक
of
affect
sustainable
जातात.
development? What is your definition of sustainable development?
Planned, people-centric, environment-friendly
Exactly.
development.
So
That is called planned
that
development.
is exactly what this plan is telling you to do.
That is-
Why don't you do that?
By reducing 200 meter
Arey,
of
do-
NTZ and getting
This is
into
exactly
50
what
meters
the plan is
in
telling
Baina.
you.
One second.
So
one
give
second.
your
In Baina.
suggestions to that
In
plan.
Baina.
No? Give your
जे
suggestions
पळय
to the
घरां
plan.
2000 घरां पळय डिमॉलिश जाल्ले, सरकारान कितें म्हणलें, हे NTZan आसा, they are close to high tide line, therefore they threat to life, and therefore we are demolishing the houses.
Blatantly illegal
And
houses.
their houses are demolished at the time of rainy season. कित्याक? because of threat of their life. And आता तुम्ही CRZ 50 मिटर हाडूंक सोदता म्हणून आयज 25% ऑफ द पॉप्युलेशन जी आसा गोंयची कोस्टलाक रावता. मागीर तुम्ही एडिशनल 25% सारकी देगेक हाडूंक सोदता, लोकांक काबार करूंक सोदता. बट हे डेव्हलपमेंट कसलें?
अरे put to the plan to the plan आम घाल
टुरिझम जे
मरे.
आसा,
You give your suggestions to the plan rather than stopping this.
टुरिस्ट पळय फॉरेन टुरिस्ट येता, दे आर रिड्युसिंग इन नंबर बिकॉज दे डोंट फाइंड गोवा एनी मोर ब्युटिफुल. तुम्ही टुरिझम काबार करूंक सोदता. टुडे फिशरमॅन हॅव बीन डिस्प्लेस्ड.
Anyway, they are not reducing their increasingly
I would
number
not
by
agree, I
number.
would not agree with you that the number of foreign tourists are reducing because of these reasons as mentioned to you. There are different other things. Other
Anyway,
factors.
Savio, म्हजो
Things are
टायम
always
सोंपला.
like-
म्हजो टायम सोंपला. म्हजी फक्त लास्ट 1-1.5-2 मिनिट उरला. म्हाका तुमचो फायनल ह्या गजालीचेर कितें व्यू पॉयंट आहा तो 1 by 1 दियात प्लीज.
what I have to say is, you look at most of the tourist destinations in the world. Construction, skyscrapers, big buildings are allowed, but between the building and the beach, there's a road,
yeah.
a passage, and then comes the building. The buildings are within 100 meters or so. And even the shacks also are never on the beach, but they are on the border. I've seen this in many countries, and there's been no problem of environment.
So this should be allowed.
Yes.
Okay.
See, our contention is very simple. This draft notification is anti-people, anti-environment and anti-tourism. कित्याक हे 50 मिटराक तुम्ही हाडले जाल्यार ट्युरिझम सोंपतले, शेकवाले सोंपतले, बीच काबार जातलो, बिचाचेर आनी कोण ट्युरिस्ट येवचो ना, बिचाक लागून आयज ट्युरिझम येता, आयज गोल्डन सँड म्हणटा गोंय, तें काबार करून तुमी करतले. आमी मागता कितें सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट करचें. 2011 जो आसा तो सारको पयलो पाडचो आनी लोकांचो कॉन्फिडन्स घेवन हो जो नोटिफिकेशन जो आसा तो एक्ट करचो.
आणि ताजे खातीर जाय ती सगळी कन्स्ट्रक्टिव्ह सजेशन्स तुम्ही दितले आणि जो कोस्टल झोन मॅनेजमेंट प्लॅन जातलो तेन्ना तुम्ही ते दितले.
डेफिनेटली.
ओके.
The development, whether you like it or not, will happen. Goa has got that little thing for which everybody has a stake in it. Even as developers, we have a stake. We also want that Goa should remain beautiful. But at the same time, we do not want to object to anything and everything that comes our way. It only increases the cost. It only delays plans. And the worst thing is it leads to a lot of illegalities, and makes ease of business very, very difficult. So it should be, you be rational about the plan, give your suggestions, and I feel that this is a very good.
ओके. एक वेळ आयला आमचे कडेन हांगा हो एक नोटिफिकेशन येवन हें नोटिफिकेशन आयलां तें ब्लेसिंग म्हणून समजोवपाचें आनी तें ब्लेसिंग म्हणून पळोवपाचें, नॉट फ्रॉम आयले तें बरें जालां म्हणून. ह्या हातूंतल्यान एक चर्चा जावपाक जाय प्रत्येक गोंयकारा कडेन. आमी बेश्टे बशिल्ले कडेन फक्त गाडी घालत बसतात, सरकाराक घालतात, हाका घालतात, ताका घालतात. टायम आयला आमी मुखार सरपाचें आनी आमची ऑब्जेक्शन्स, आमची सजेशन्स दिवपाची आनी त्या हातूंतल्यान सारको कोस्टल झोन मॅनेजमेंट प्लॅन जातलो आनी तातूंतल्यान गोंय प्रॉस्पर जातलें अशे तरेचो करपाचो वेळ आयला. आनी तसोच प्लॅन करपाक आमी शकतात, ही परिस्थिती आयिल्ली आसा. ती जावपाच्या दृश्टीतल्यान हो प्रोसेस सुरू जाला. तो प्रोसेस सुरू करपा खातीर तुमी आज पर्यंत आतां कितें कॉन्ट्रिब्युशन करतले हें तुमी थारावपाचें. तुमी तिगी जाण आमच्या स्टुडियो भितर आयले आनी तुमचे पॉयंट मांडले, ताका लागून तुमचे सगळ्यांचे आमी धन्यवाद. पळयत रावात गोवा 365 आनी रणमाले.